What is up, guys? What is up? Welcome back to the Silver Surfers channel. I've got a really fun video today to share with y'all. So I've shared some of these notes in the past on prior videos a long time ago, but I've never shared them all in one single capacity. So I wanted to do that today. What you're about to see is my collection of small size $5 star notes. I'm not exactly sure why I ended up doing that denomination. When usually I collect Washingtons to begin with, but maybe it was because of the fact that the 5 had some of the largest amounts of notes that you can find them in silver certificates, legal tenders, Federal Reserve banknotes, Federal Reserve notes, etc. And so the $1 bill obviously did not have that many compared to the 5, so that's probably why it leaned me towards that. But anyways, I'm rambling on here. So what you guys came to see is probably the notes, huh? So we're going to go ahead and show you guys all these notes that I got. And we'll start off with the silvers. So there's a 1934 D series. I just love this 34 series in general and the silver certificates. I'm a big fan of this big blue 5 over here. Big, huge blue seal on the right side. And what's really cool about these is the stars are pretty different from what you'll see in the next note I'll show you here compared to the newer versions of it, in which are quite thick and filled in. This is a really nice note. Picked this one up raw. I don't even remember where I got it from. Probably an eBay purchase or something like that. But just an overall really nice note here. So that's number 1. And then what you see here is a 53A series. Again, a silver certificate. I'm going to straighten it up there a little bit. It drives me nuts when it's on the edge. All right, we'll deal with that later. But anyways, so here's the star note, and you can see the difference here between this little guy, or that big guy, and that little guy. So they ended up changing the star designation to a smaller one. And I don't know, this kind of lost some of its eye appeal as well as the big blue 5. They made this gray 5 here. I'm just not the biggest fan of it, but nonetheless had to have it for the type collection. And so this is not, by the way, I should have prefaced this at the beginning, this is not going to be a video to show all the different varieties, especially of all the Federal Reserve notes and everything else like that. I just kind of got one of all the major note types, if that makes sense. So, all right, so those are the silvers that I have. The next one here is a Screamin' 28 star and legal tender, or United States note up top there. You can see I really like these notes. Almost maybe a little bit more than the silvers. The big red seal is just, I don't know, something in the big red star. Super cool to me. These are actually kind of expensive. These ones are significantly cheaper, the silvers, than the legal tenders. I almost want to say I paid like about $100 for this note back in the day. And it's got some folds, and you can see right there, things going on there. But nonetheless, it's still a pretty overall clean looking note. Still missing the "In God We Trust" on the back there. And they all essentially look the same as well from the silver certificates on the backs. But yeah, just a really cool note, and dig that big seal. All right, that's that one here. What else do we got? What do we got? We got the 1963 United States note. And again, they made the big change there from the big red star to the small red star. But this is a pretty nice note here, and not expensive. These aren't all that expensive to get. A little bit of a face value. And so, yeah, there's "In God We Trust" now on the back. They added that later on. A really clean note as well. Again, they swapped the seal from the left to the right, and, added the numerical 5 over here, reduced the small side, the large 5 to a little bit smaller. So, but very similar. But I don't know, man. Something about that big red star and the big red seal on the left just does it for me. All right, that's the 63 there. So next, this one, as I said, is going to be a star note collection. Well, you see that this is not a star note. And this is the only 5 that I don't have in star, guys. The Hawaii 5s are super expensive. I ended up losing on a number of bids here a few years back, actually, through Heritage. And they don't come up all that often. And when they do come up, the demand is high. So I ended up, I think I went all the way up to, believe it or not, about $1,100 on it. And I still lost. And it was like a mid-grade Hawaii 5. But yeah, so I don't know. I'll probably end up trying to get one day, but until then, I had to at least show you guys the non-star, and that's the only one in the collection. So I apologize ahead of time, but so yeah, Hawaii 5 here. This is kind of the most expensive one of all the series. The 1, 5, 10, and 20 probably utilized the most, and being because of a little bit smaller denomination amount, but really cool. That it's got the Hawaii stamp on the back there. Excuse me, just an overall really cool note. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of getting, not kind of, I'm kind of really looking forward to getting back into paper money. Maybe I'll pick one of those up in the future. All right, next, this note is a killer note. I did win this one at Heritage quite some years ago, and I'm happy I did because they are pricey now. And they're not like nothing like the Hawaii 5 stars, but you're going to pay probably $400 or $500 for a note like this in this grade nowadays. It is a nice clean VF25. This is a 34 Alpha, North Africa World War II emergency issue. A lot of friends have done videos on these before. I think I've done videos on the North Africa issue as well as the Hawaii emergency issue money. And these are just so cool because they got the blue looking 5 there from the 34 series, but then they also have this neat little yellow seal as opposed to the silver certificate seal that you would see on the regular 34. So really cool there. These were issued obviously over in that theater of the world during World War II to the troops there. So, and it is a star note. These are pretty rare. These are not easy to find. Again, Missing the God We Trust, as that came out later on our paper money. But these in star notes are actually pretty challenging to find. So I was very, very, very happy to add this note, and it will stay in my collection for a long time. All right, moving on. What do we got here? We got a 1929 Federal Reserve banknote. So a little bit different than your Federal Reserve notes, a little bit different than, they look like national currency. They even say nationals up there. They are not national currencies. So yeah, I had to pick one of these up here. This guy is also starred, of course, and this is from Chicago, one of the more common Federal Reserve banks to issue paper money. And but star notes in these are actually kind of tough as well. This one's a little ratty. They graded it a VG 10, and that's okay. I'm not the biggest fan of these, to be quite honest with you. I'd rather have an actual national currency from a town somewhere. But nonetheless, I had to have it because it's part of the collection of what we're doing there. Moving on to the last of the series of types of notes here. And these are the Federal Reserve notes. So again, different from the Federal Reserve banknote there. And these are really cool, these old ones especially. This is a 28. And there's a lot going on here. So one, the redeemable in gold on demand at the United States Treasury or in gold or lawful money at any Federal Reserve bank. It's also got the numerical seal here. Oftentimes those would be referred to as that, the 28 series. The green is a different color. Green is like a foresty green. And then the star note on these things are just rad. I like this note. It's got a little bit of off cut here. But overall, very cool note. I think I won this one at auction as well at Heritage a while back. But you'll cough up a little bit of money for these guys also. They are not cheap. So that's 28 Federal Reserve. Moving on. We got the 34. This is a light green seal. The serial number is kind of cool too. A little bit lower than usual. This is out of Minneapolis. So there you go, Dan from Polar Currency. A little shout out to my boy over there, Minneapolis. But you can see, let me grab this one back here. Check this seal color difference out. Look at that, the light green versus a real foresty green. Pretty big difference. So really neat. Again, these are kind of expensive also, relatively speaking, but overall a cool note. I'm surprised I didn't hit it for staining up there and down there, but I will take the straight grade any day. And that was my oven, if you guys haven't heard that beeping in the back. I have to go throw some pizza in. All right, moving on. What do we got? So that was the 34 light green seal. This is the 34 normal green seal. And again, I'll do a quick little, right there, you can see the difference in the two of them. So different variety there. So I had to add one of these. This is raw. I think I got this from Denley's of Boston years ago at the Baltimore show, I want to say. But just an overall fun little note. And then getting newer and newer, modern and modern, 1950B. This is actually a really clean note, man. Uncirculated, beautiful star note. Again, they changed the green color a little bit, but they also changed the size of the star back down to the small size now. Still no God we trust, which is why this is a large variety difference than what you'll see coming up here. But just an all-around classic look, man. I still wish our paper money looked like that, to be honest with you. All right, 63. Now you got the change in God we trust on the back. Just a modern note, 64 EPQ. Nothing too crazy, nothing too striking here, but a nice overall 5-star. So that is that. And then a couple more. What was the change here? 1993. Nothing. I just got this one in circulation actually a while ago when the bank I used to go hunting for a lot of different serial numbers and stuff like that. They actually held this back for me and asked if I wanted it, and I was like, shoot, heck yeah, man. So nice little note there, but no big difference really besides some color difference, I guess, from the 63. And then we had the big change, the big heads, the non-colorized big heads, which are cool, I guess. But anyways, so nice clean uncirculated one here. All the backs look the same with the memorial there. And that is that. And finally, where we're at currently, guys. So I got this one also in circulation, little 5-star note there. And yeah, I'm indifferent to it. I prefer the old school stuff that I'm used to when I was growing up. But yeah, we'll take it. So anyways, that's my star note collection, my $5 star note collection, except for the Hawaii, I know. But for the completeness of the set, we had to throw that thing in there. So anyways, let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you like this video or not. Throw me a comment and hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. And until next time, Sober Surfer is out.